Good day, everyone! For today's video, I will be performing the 5 anatomical movements. But before we proceed to the activity, let's define first what is anatomical movements. When we say anatomical movements, it can be defined as the act of instance of moving the bodily structure or as a change of position in one or more of the joint of the body. So now, let's proceed to the activity. So the first activity that I'm going to perform is the flexion and extension. So flexion and extension describe movement that affects the angle between two parts of the body. When we say flexion, it describes a bending movement that decreases the angle between a segment and its proximal segment. When we say extension, it is the opposite of flexion, describing a strengthening movement that increases the angle between body parts. So this is the way that I perform the flexion and extension. So the second anatomical movements that I'm going to perform is the abduction and adduction. Abduction and adduction are terms that refers to a certain body motions or movements. When we say abduction, it is the opposite of adduction. With abduction, leave our legs or fingers or move away from your body midline. Adduction, however, refers to moving your limbs closer to the midline. So this is the way that I perform the abduction and adduction movement. So the third anatomical movement that I'm going to perform is elevation and depression. The term elevation and depression refers to movement above and below the horizontal. Elevation refers to movement in a superior direction, while depression refers to movement in an inferior direction, the opposite of elevation. So this is the proper way that you will perform the elevation and depression movement. So the fourth anatomical movement that I'm going to perform is the protraction and retraction movement. So protraction is accomplished by the action of the serratus anterior, pectoralis major, and the pectoralis minor muscle, while retraction is accomplished by the action of the trapezius, rhomboids, and latissimus dorsi muscles. So this is the way that you will be performing the protraction and retraction movement. So the last anatomical movement that I'm going to perform is the external and internal rotation. Internal and external rotation refers to the movement made about the longitudinal axis and in the transverse plane. Internal rotation is rotating a joint towards the midline, while external rotation is rotating a joint away from the midline. So this is the way that I'm going to perform the external rotation and internal rotation. Thanks for watching.